Welcome to Motherhood and ADHD. I'm your friend, Patricia Sen. My mission is to be a lighthouse for mothers with ADHD, helping you find your path to success by learning to appreciate your ADHD as an asset. I'm seeking to change the paradigm that ADHD means your life is doomed to be a hot mess. So I'm sharing strategies and encouraging you in your pursuit of happiness to love who you are every day of your ADHD life. Hey there, successful mama. It's your friend Patricia. All right, so we're talking about wise money management for ADHD. And today's installment is a simple one. And sometimes we hear simple things and we're like, why did nobody tell me that before? Like, I remember when I had my oldest and he was a newborn and you're on this 2-hour cycle and you feel like you're in the movie Groundhog Day because you keep doing the same thing every 2 hours and it never ends. And I remember thinking, why did nobody tell me this? And obviously it's really simple. You know that babies don't do much. There's this cycle of eat, sleep, and diapers. That's all they do. But it's I didn't get it. Even though it was such a simple rotation, I didn't understand the magnitude of insanity that I was going to be encountering by doing the same thing every 2 hours. So I'm going to talk about a very simple concept today called pay your bills on time, which seems obvious. Obviously, that's what you should do. But how do you get that done? How do you make sure that you have a system in place so that you're paying your bills on time? There's really 3 ways you can go about it. 1 is you can auto pay. 2 is you can deal with it as soon as it shows up. Or 3, you can have a set time to deal with it. Maybe you use a combination of the 3. That might be a little confusing for ADHD. Maybe you could pick 1 or 2 to go with. But really what matters is that you have a plan in place. To me, that's the key on being a well-functioning adult, is just having a plan in place to take care of the things that you have to take care of. And then you have time to have fun after you've dealt with the boring things like dishes, laundry, and bills. So first one, auto pay. I try to auto pay anything that I can and put it on my card. Now, I am very disciplined in my credit card. I always pay it off every month, no matter what. If you don't have that discipline yet in dealing with credit cards, then auto pay it out of your bank account. But if you listen back to the caveats to that with making sure you don't overdraw your account, you may want to go back and listen to that episode to talk about how to make sure that doesn't end you up in trouble. But auto paying so that literally you don't have to do anything is the best way to pay your bills if that's an option. Now, I love using online banking. The technologies have come a long way. And the great thing about online banking is that you don't have to figure out stamps. You don't have to go to the mailbox. It does it for you. So if you can, try to automate that way. You don't have to get those extra steps in of actually putting it in the mailbox and stuff. And in this day and age, your bank should do that for free. You should not be paying fees for that. Okay, so when you get the bill in the mail, you have to pick one or the other. Either you're going to deal with it right away, or you're going to have a set day to deal with it and a plan in place. I think a lot of us get into trouble when we just have this pile of mail that turns into Mount Vesuvius of mail and it's overflowing and killing us. So if you need a coming home routine, which involves organizing your mail, you can go back and listen to that episode as well. But you got to decide, are you one of those people that let's handle it once? Some people that's really good for. You just deal with it right then. And that's what I do. If I have the time, I'll just go ahead and pay the bill right then. Or if I get a check in the mail, I immediately in the app scan it and deposit into my account right away, because that's easier than I can wipe my hands of it and be it's done. Okay, now when I say that you pay them immediately, I know you're thinking hey, what if I get my bill and I don't have money to pay it? You can go into your online banking and schedule that payment for the day that you get paid. So if I get my gas bill and it's $45, I don't have $45. Go look at when your next payday is. Okay, I get paid on Friday. So on Saturday, I'm going to send out that $45 because I know I'll have money coming in. And that way the things that have to get paid will get paid first before you decide to go have dinner with your friends. Now, the thing about being a mom is a lot of times you can't just drop what you're doing and to pay the bill as you're opening the mail. Somebody starts standing on the kitchen table and you got to deal with it. So in that case, build into your calendar a bill day that is scheduled on the calendar at a set time where you're going to handle these things. And for me, I have one day where I handle all computer tasks And computer tasks sometimes take like 30 minutes, sometimes it's an hour. You can knock it out hopefully during nap time or after the kids go to bed. But I do everything on the computer. That way I know it's done and complete. So you've got to pick a frequency. How often are you going to do this? For me, I like doing it once a week. Tuesday's my computer day, and I know that things will get done on that day. If that's too much for you, maybe you want to do twice a month. You could do it the day after payday. Some people follow like 10/25, so they do it on the 10th and the 25th of the month. If you're like a bill kung fu master, you might be able to do it once a month, but I find that you don't quite have a whole month by the time it like gets in the mail to you and you have to pay it. So to me, like once a month is like playing with fire. I don't want to miss something and pay fees. So I like to do it more frequently. So I do it once a week. Now, we talked in a previous episode about savings first. So when you get your income in, you put your money aside into your savings and you're slowly growing that to larger and larger percentages of your income. On that day, that's when I pay the bills. I look at how much money I have. I set my savings aside. I pay all the bills. And then you have a more realistic picture of what's in your account. But I'll talk about that in a second. The other thing you need to do on your bill paying day is do a quick check of your account for any fraudulent activity or things that don't look right. Make sure the things that you already paid have gone through and just double check everything. This will give you a more hands-on approach to knowing exactly what's in your account. Most people look at their account and say, I have $200 in my account. And then they proceed to spend the $200. But the problem is if you think you have $200, but like your electricity bill is going to come out of the account in 5 days, you don't have $200. You might have only $100. So having that set date where you take everything out of the account will keep you in a rhythm and be aware. And I like to schedule all my payments for the day after payday. So even though I do bill day right then, if I have the money, I'll just pay it right then. But big bills I schedule out the day after payday because I want to know, okay, I got all this money and it looks like I have so much money on payday. But then once you take out your mortgage or your rent and all your like major expenses, you don't have that much left. So if you take them all out right at payday, you have a more realistic picture of what you actually have. Because ADHD is a now or not now mindset. And what you see is right now I have X dollars and you think you can spend X dollars when really once you've paid all your bills, you only have Z. So that's why I like to schedule things the day after payday. Everything comes out at once. I've already technically spent all the money and then I literally only have left what I can play with. And that gives me a better headspace to go from. And then the last thing I recommend is alerts. Now, don't go crazy with the alerts because then you start ignoring them. But figure out what alerts you need to keep you on top of things, whether that's an alert from your credit card saying that your payment is due or alerts from your bank that your account's getting low, whatever it is, use those tools to your advantage and set those reminders so that you can make sure that you did not forget anything. Overview. 1, put everything on autopay that you can put on autopay. 2, use your online banking so you don't have to worry about mailing things and actually going to the post office. And then 3, have a plan of either paying things immediately or having a set bill paying day, whether it's once a week or twice a month, whatever frequency fits with your life and your bills, so that you have a plan that things don't get lost and shuffled around. That's your homework for this week, is autopay as much as you can. Figure out your system. Because here's the thing. When we don't have a lot of money and we're feeling stressed, a lot of times we don't even want to look at the bills because it makes us stressful. But ignoring the bills doesn't make them go away. We still have to pay the money to function in our lives. So take the time to have a system because it will give you peace of mind once you get into the habit. Remember, it takes us a while to make a habit. This isn't going to be an overnight thing. You've got to schedule it into your calendar that this is the day that I'm going to pay bills and do this thing that I hate to do. But once you have your system down, it goes really quickly. Like I can pay all of our bills in like 5-10 minutes, which is sad because all my money disappears in 5-10 minutes. But it will get easier the more you handle it. And then you'll have a better idea of how much money you have to play with. And so that you're not stressed when it comes to like, oh no, my light bill is due next week and I don't have any money. Because back when you got your paycheck, you already prepared for that. And really that awareness of remembering, what's coming ahead is something that we just don't notice. So taking that time to regularly assess your money will help you keep those things in the forefront of your mind. And you're not taken aback or surprised when they show up. So this is all about our mindset of being aware of what's coming, preparing for it ahead of time, and then knowing what we have to work with that we can have our fun money too. So I want you to keep in mind that the whole point of this preparation is not to be like stick in the mud. The point is to get done what we have to get done with a system and in an organized fashion so that we are proactive in the way that we handle our money so that we can really enjoy life and spend money on the things that are important to us because we've prepared for them. I want you to know that you can have a great life using what you have if you have prepared appropriately to use your resources well. All right, so I want to see your posts. Tag me at Motherhood and ADHD so I can see what fun thing you're doing with the money that you set aside, or even, send me a picture of you paying bills. I am all for that. So have an awesome week, successful mama, and we will talk soon.
Thank you for listening to Motherhood and ADHD. For more resources, head over to our website, www.motherhoodandadhd.com.